What's going on, guys? This is Rob. There are no spoilers in this video for Doctor Strange 2. Instead, this video is designed to basically tell you everything you need to know in order to get ready to go see Doctor Strange 2. So you're not going to walk in with no idea of what in the world is going on. So let's start with the multiverse. Basically, the multiverse came back at the end of Loki, and we ended up finding out that the Marvel Cinematic Universe existed in one part of the multiverse that had been isolated. Think about it this way. Imagine you lived in the United States, but you didn't know there was anything outside the United States. And then one day somebody comes along and they introduce you to the fact that there is stuff that exists outside the United States, but you don't know what else is out there. All you know is that some guy named Kang presumably rules it all. That's basically what's going on with the multiverse of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Doctor Strange 2, we will, for this example, find out what's going on outside the United States. We will see what else is going on in the multiverse now that we are officially a part of the rest of the multiverse. Let's move on to Doctor Strange. All we really know about Doctor Strange in terms of what's going on is presumably the movie has some kind of an impact or some kind of involvement with the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, only because of the fact that that's the first real time we'd seen Doctor Strange cast a spell that affected the multiverse. All that really happened, for those of you guys who never saw Spider-Man No Way Home, is that Doctor Strange was going to cast a spell that would make the world forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Peter wouldn't shut the hell up and the spell went awry. Instead, everybody who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man was brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie unfolds. At the end of the film, basically the spell is corrected, or the proper spell is cast, and everybody's made to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man after all those individuals who know that Peter Parker's Spider-Man are sent back to their own universes. That's about the extent of the multiverse that we've seen so far in relation to Doctor Strange. Whether or not this movie ties into Spider-Man No Way Home has yet to be seen. The rumors are saying no, other rumors are saying yes. We won't know until we actually go and see the film. Finally, let's talk about Wanda. Wanda is a little more interesting and a little more complex here. Exactly how Wanda is involved in this movie is yet to be seen. Rumors are saying she's the main villain. Other rumors are saying she's somehow tied to the villain. Those rumors are saying that it's Chthon or maybe Mephisto or something like that. I don't know. People are just looking for reasons to say that Mephisto's in the MCU. Maybe he is the main villain. No clue. We won't know until we see the movie. The important thing about Wanda is this. In the events of Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, we were basically teased or introduced to this idea that Wanda is seemingly a lot more powerful than we were initially led to believe, which is great, because all she ever really did up to that point was levitate some stuff and cast some hexes. She was kinda boring. But all this really came to a head during the events of WandaVision. And what we found out is that in the aftermath of Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, when Vision had basically died, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The girl's mind was already hanging on by a thread. And as soon as Vision died, she basically went off the rails. And so what ended up happening here is that in a town called Westview, all of this, of course, taking place in the WandaVision TV show, in this town called Westview, Wanda had basically altered reality in order to give herself the perfect life. This included recreating Vision, who actually wasn't really real. This also involved her creating her kids seemingly out of nowhere. Now, this eventually led to the introduction of a villain named Agatha Harkness, who was actually the one that was keeping an eye on Wanda and was essentially manipulating things behind the scenes, albeit without Wanda's knowledge. At the end of WandaVision, we ended up learning that Wanda is basically the prophesized Scarlet Witch. At the end of the show, she also seemed to step into the full totality of her power, although we didn't quite know exactly how powerful she was. All we knew is that at the end of the show, she had gotten her hands on a book called the Darkhold, which was previously in possession of Agatha Harkness and was now in the possession of Wanda. The only real knowledge we have about the Darkhold, assuming that anything else, any other appearances in TV form actually measure up, is that it is basically a book that allows individuals to use black magic. For Wanda, her source of magic is seemingly chaos magic. What does that mean? Basically means she can do anything. At least that's how it works in the comics. Now, more recently in the comics, we actually learned that the Darkhold is a means by which you can summon Nightmare, a super powerful bad guy who basically grows more powerful, feeding on the dreams of people. You can use the Darkhold to summon him into the universe. That's important because one of the more prominent theories out there is that Nightmare is actually the main villain in Doctor Strange 2. We won't really know. Outside of that, whatever you've seen in the trailers, that's what everybody else knows, except for the people who got to see it early. Curses! I was not one of them. But this should effectively get you caught up enough to understand what's going on with Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. For the most part, it's pretty mysterious. There are a few things going on, but as far as how Wanda's involved, we don't really know. We know that like America Chavez, basically a girl who can jump between realities, is a part of the movie, but we don't really know much else. Just It looks like it's gonna be cool. Also, the Illuminati are in there, which is gonna be really, really exciting. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end. I know it's super short, but yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all later. Peace.